Hey everybody, Chris Guns from Real Combat Media here. I'm about to check out what people in the world of boxing think about the big rematch tonight between Bernard Hopkins and Chad Dawson. Alan Green, it's Chris Guns from Real Combat Media.
What's up? I know who it was.
What's up, man? Quick couple of questions. Who's winning tonight's big fight between Bernard and Chad?
Man, Chad is young and spry. I'll go with him. I'm not sure Bernard has it in him to get in there and bang and brawl and rub Chad up like he needs to. Because to me, the last fight, even though it was so anticlimactic and ended abruptly, Bernard didn't look willing to engage, try anything. He looked kind of passive to me.
And where would a win put Bernard's in terms of his legacy? Where would a win put him?
I mean, I don't know if you can say. I mean, I'm not sure if it would do much. So I guess it'll put him a little further up. I mean, I don't know. It's a good question.
And where would it put him in the pantheon of boxing? You just don't know. It wouldn't change his position.
No, I don't think it'll change him too much because he's done a lot of things. He's beat a lot of people. I mean, he's a great fighter. I think his legacy is cemented. That's the only thing about having a legacy. You can build on it. As long as you're winning, you always build on it. However, if he loses, then he tarnishes it a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And how about for Chad? What would a win do for him?
Everything. Well, you know what? But Chad is kind of a catch-22. He wins, great, magnificent. But it may come back to people and say, well, Bernard turned all overnight. He wasn't himself. If he loses, he lost to 46 years Hopkins, Bernard. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a catch-22 for him. But I think it should. I mean, a win is always good, so it will do something positive for Chad if he wins.
Yeah. What would a loss do for him?
I don't think it'll hurt Chad very much. Not right now.
No. Well, sounds good to me. Thanks, Alan Green.
All right, Chris. Anytime, man.
All right. See you later. Angel Man, Freddie. Chris Guns from Real Combat Media. How you doing, man? I guess he's not there. Hey, Angel Man, Freddie. It's Chris Guns from Real Combat Media. Quick couple of questions. Who's winning tonight's big fight between Bernard and Chad?
Bernard Hopkins.
And what would a win do for Bernard's legacy?
History. He's already the oldest to fight, I believe. I like Bernard. I like Bernard for the fight. He's a dedicated fighter, and he's a good fighter, and I respect him as a fighter, and I expect him to be 46 years old and still be fighting.
Yeah. And where would it put him in the pantheon of boxing? Would it raise his level at all?
I don't think so. I think he already made history already.
Yeah. And what would a loss do for him?
It won't do nothing to him. It won't do nothing.
And how about for Chad?
Not.
What would a win do for Chad?
Really, it goes both ways. It could be good. It could not be good. People would probably say, hey, he's an old man. But in my experience, age ain't nothing but a number.
That's it. What would a loss do for Chad? What would a loss do for Chad?
It's definitely bring him down.
You got it. You said it? That's what you call it? It's going to bring him down. It's going to bring him down.
Say it again?
It's going to bring him down, you said?
Yes.
DeMarcus Chop Corley. It's Chris Guns calling from Real Combat Media. Quick couple of questions. Who's winning tonight's big fight between Bernard and Chad?
I like to see the old man Bernard get this one.
What do you think a win would do for Bernard's legacy?
Oh, man, it just make it better. It's like putting more ice on top of the cake. You never have too much ice. Make it sweeter.
Yeah. Where do you think it would put him in the pantheon of boxing if he got a win tonight?
He's one of the greatest that ever done it. He's with Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali and all the rest of the great fighters.
And what would a loss do?
he's still there. I mean, you can't take nothing from Bernard. He already established himself in history. I mean, at 47 years old, he has won world titles over and over again. With his age, I mean, he has defied and beat the odds every time.
Yeah. How about for Chad? What would a win do for Chad?
It would just prove Chad be the older guy who is not at the level that he used to be at. That's all. It's nothing to Chad. It's not going to make Chad a better person. It's not going to build his credibility, make his stats look real good. I mean, Bernard, he should beat this guy. But Bernard is just a great fighter that is hard to beat.
And what would a loss do for Chad?
Prove that the old man still got what it takes to beat these young guys.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. Thank you, Chop Chop.
Well,
Light heavyweight contender Daniel Judah. What do you think tonight about the fight between Bernard and Chad?
Who does Chris?
Yeah. What's up, man?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Not a whole
What do I
lot.
think about what do I think about the fight tonight? It's all right. I mean, yo, it's good for Chad, you know, because he got another title shot. Well, not another title shot. But I think he was a champion. Who was the champion? I think Bernard was.
Say it again?
So I think Bernard was the champion before, right?
Yeah. Yep, he was.
Well, it's good for Chad. You know what I'm saying? And Bernard he's not going to, I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know.
And what would a win do for Bernard's legacy? Would it do anything to it?
I mean, he's going out in the Hall of Fame already. And so, I mean, to beat Chad, it's how he beat him. It's how he beat him. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Bernard beating Chad, really.
If he did, what would it do to his position in the whole pantheon of boxing? Would it raise him a few levels?
Of course. Of course. But Chad is like he's one of the competitors in that division that give everybody a problem. That will give anybody a problem. You know, first of all, he's southpaw and he's tall. He's pretty rangy, and I think that if Bernard win the fight, I think he needs to retire or whatever. But I don't know. It depends on how he look. I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. It's crazy, man, because Bernard could go ahead and Bernard could win or whatever. But I don't see Bernard winning, or Chad could win. It's how Chad wins. It all depends. I don't know.
What would a loss do for Bernard? Would you take anything away from him?
A loss? No. No, not really.
How about a win for Chad? What would that do for Chad?
It'd be good for him. He'd be champion again.
Yeah.
He'd be champion again. He probably could fight. What's the dude down in Florida? Forgot his name. He probably could fight him and set that up or whatever. You know, Chad could move on. He could move his career on.
And what would a loss do for him?
Setback. It'd be a setback, but it won't be that devastating. But you know, it'd be a setback because you don't want to lose. That's one thing. You know, so I see that the fight. I see Chad win the fight. I think Chad is too big for him.
Very nice, Danny. Thank you, man.
All right, take it easy.
It's Chris Guns from Real Combat Media talking to Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, light heavyweight legend. Quick couple of questions, Eddie. Who's winning tonight's big fight between Bernard and Chad?
Well, first of all, I'm good friends with both of those guys. As you know, I used to train Chad. And I've known Bernard for years, and what I'm seeing there is youth against, I'm not saying Bernard is old, but, boxing is a young man's sport, and the one he should summon it up for. But I just can't see it because of all the talent that Chad has. In their first fight, Bernard was probably surprised to see how strong Chad was. I mean, he pushed him back and he felt his strength. So right there, he has a profound respect for his strength right there. And then you got his attributes, his jab, his boxing ability. And Chad has a little bit of pop in his punches.
Mm-hmm. And what would
he's an excellent boxer.
Yeah. What would a win do for Bernard's legacy?
Oh, it would just. I mean, you could. I mean, he's done it all. I mean, a win over a guy like Chad Dawson, he wouldn't do anything. I mean, it's already stamped. Bernard is already bound for the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. It just, adds more, but it's already stamped. He doesn't need anything else.
And where would a loss put him?
It would put him anywhere. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't put him back, because, like I said, Bernard is 47 years old. Chad is 29. Mm-hmm. And Chad is at the top of his game. His physical powers, he's there. He's at the top of his game. So a loss for Bernard wouldn't do anything to hurt his reputation or what he's already established in the game.
Message received.
And what would a win do for Chad?
Boost his credibility. Number one, he would become Ring Magazine champion and WBC champion, and then he'd become a 3-time world champion at light heavyweight. So it'll boost his confidence up immensely.
How about a loss for Chad? What would that do?
Well, that devastated him. First and foremost, he got beat by a guy that's 47 years old. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, boxing is a young man's sport.
Yeah. Thanks for your opinion, Eddie.
You got it.
Appreciate it. Here with editor-in-chief Anthony Gonzalez. It's Chris from Real Combat Media. We know each other well. What do you think of the big fight tonight between Bernard and Chad?
Well, I would hope for Bernard Hopkins to win by decision, but, to keep it logical, I would have to give it to Chad Dawson tonight by unanimous decision. Mm-hmm. Pretty much think he's going to go in there and, he's going to win most of the rounds. I don't think he's going to knock him down. I don't think it's going to be a very exciting fight either. I think he's going to, do enough to get the decision tonight.
And what do you think a win would do for Bernard's legacy?
Well, if he wins tonight, it's going to be huge for his legacy. It's going to be, he's already a Hall of Famer, but it's going to, surprise a lot of people. A lot of people are putting him down in this fight. I'm reading today on the internet. A lot of people, he's not favored in this fight, so it's going to change a lot of people's minds.
And
it's really going to hurt Bernard Hopkins. Chad Dawson.
Mm-hmm. What would a loss do?
They probably, a lot of people are going to just say it's time to give it up. That's probably what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And what would a win do for Chad?
He'll probably going to, be mentioned out there, probably 168, a lot of big names. They'll probably talk about Andre Ward. They'll probably talk about either the winner of Tavares Cloud and Pascal, one of those guys. I'm not sure who he's going to go up against, but I'm pretty sure that the Cloud is fighting Pascal.
Now, do you think the boxing world would be quick to forgive Chad if he lost tonight to Bernard?
No. There's no excuses if he loses to Bernard tonight.
Very good. Thank you, Anthony. Hey, Orlando Canizales. It's Chris Guns from Real Combat Media. Quick couple of questions. Who's winning tonight's big fight between Bernard and Chad?
Well, I think Chad Dawson will win this fight.
Mm-hmm. And if Bernard does win, where would it put him in the pantheon of boxing?
Well, he's 40-some years old. It's so he had a remarkable career, and I just think that not many fighters get to fight at this level at this age, and so it's something amazing.
Mm-hmm. And what would a loss do? You think it would bring him down at all?
Well, it's a loss. It always affects you in one way or another. I think that it was just no. But like I said, he's had a great career, and I think this is probably one of the last fights I would imagine so.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think a win would do for Chad?
Well, it will open more doors and more opportunities for bigger and better fights.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think the boxing world would do if he lost? Do you think they'd be quick to forgive him, or?
No, I wouldn't say that. It's just that people they will talk more about Hopkins winning than Dawson losing. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thanks a lot, Orlando.
Pleasure.
Hey, here with Al Cole. It's Chris Guns from Real Combat Media. Quick couple of questions. Who's winning tonight's big fight between Bernard and Chad, Al?
Actually, this is one fight I'm not concerned with. I mean, I'm not sure of. Because I know this fight, Chad is not scared of Bernard.
No.
He's not scared of Bernard. He's fast. And I'm not even talking about young or strong or something, because with some of the experience, today's young guys are really not that good, I don't consider. But Chad has always been good. He's a very good boxer, got good hand speed. And Bernard got a lot of experience and everything, but Bernard got to be a little bit more sneaky. And he want to probably try to rough up Chad and, like, intimidate some of these younger fighters. But Chad will not be intimidated.
And what would a win do for Bernard if he was to win tonight?
You know, the win is not going to do much more for Bernard, because Bernard is already considered one of the best, the greatest of all time. You know, he's accomplished so much. There's going to be another notch on his belt. That's still at his age. Win or lose, Bernard can still go on.
And what would a loss do for Bernard?
It's just going to make a good thing about a rematch. Depends on how he lose.
And
it's going to make a big thing about a rematch, but it's Chad. It's going to make Chad look pretty good, much better. But Chad is already a very good boxer. Matter of fact, he beat Thomas Adamek for the light heavyweight title.
Yes, he did.
So Thomas went on to do pretty good things.
Yeah. And
Thomas won a cruiserweight title and fought for the heavyweight world title.
Yeah. Do you think a loss would bring Chad down? What do you think the boxing world would do if Chad were to lose?
You know what? Yeah, any loss would do anybody bad, normally. Any loss would do anybody bad. No one wants to lose, but, you know, they're going to say, well, just going to say, like, Bernard's still a great fighter with it. Either way, you know, is going to consider him a great fighter, win, lose, or draw. And then they might make up some excuses over Bernard. Now, Bernard lose, they might make some excuse, so he looked old, he didn't have it, or his shoulder or something was wrong. It's not the same Bernard. They're going to make up something, but if Chad wins, he just wins. I might have Chad a slight favorite because he's not scared. He's long, and he's fast, and, you know, he got decent pop. But see, I remember did Adamek drop Chad? But Chad was beating them all around, I think.
Yeah, I think Chad won pretty good wide decision.
Yeah, because Thomas can't really have much boxing ability. He's a good puncher.
Very nice. Thank you.
But I don't know how much Chad punching power is. Bernard wears people down.
Yeah.
And plus, he went back to his old trainer, John Scully. Scully's really a scientific guy of boxing. Instead of, like, not meaning some other former trainers he had where people were just because of their names. But usually some of the name fighters, the name trainers these days, they're there in the corner, but they don't really train the guys. They always have an assistant guy training them. And they come in the last couple of weeks. But it will be an exciting fight for boxing.
Yeah, you're going to be watching?
Yes, actually I was supposed to be there, but I didn't come. But yes, I really, the bad thing about it is a lot of people asking about it. I even forgot about it.
Yeah. Well, don't forget tonight.
Oh yeah. It's gonna. I just wonder who's on the undercard.
It's Seth Mitchell and going against, I think, Obed Sullivan or Chaz Witherspoon. It's Chaz Witherspoon going against Seth Mitchell, young guy.
Okay. Don't know. I know Chaz. But it's good that it's on the East Coast also because, you know, a lot of big fights on the West Coast. This way it could get a lot of fighters, you know, from Bernard and Chad that's over here. The group around it there that can come down to the fight.
And you don't know who you're
because a lot of people can't make it out to the West Coast, but it's right here in Jersey. A lot of people could come to that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for your opinion, champion Al Cole.
All right. Take it easy. Hey,
Hey, Super Trainer Yoel Judah. It's Chris Guns from Real Combat Media. Just a quick couple of questions. Who's winning tonight's fight between Bernard and Chad?
Say that again?
Who's winning tonight's fight between Bernard and Chad?
I think Bernard got the experience, but I think the youth's gonna take him over tonight. I think Chad's gonna beat him.
What do you think a win would do for Bernard's legacy?
A win tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, that put him up there rocking with I don't know. Up there Rocky Marciano and them. You know what I mean? And Armstrong, and Ezra Charles and them boys. You know, they put him up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's big. If he wins tonight, it's big.
Yeah. Do you think a loss would do anything to his reputation?
I think a loss. Well, I mean, it'll hurt him, but a lot of people not. I don't know. I mean, some people expect him to win that fight, but a loss will put him in the category where he just fighting as the old guy.
Yeah. What do you think a win would do for Chad?
Listen. I mean, a win over Chad with Bernard Hopkins. I mean, it'll put him as definitely as the light heavyweight champion of the world. Unified light heavyweight champion of the world. Definitely do that. But I think he has to do something a little bigger than Bernard. Only because Bernard age. He got to fight one of them. I'm trying to figure out who right now is out there.
Well, what do you think a loss would do for Chad? Do you think the boxing world would forgive him for losing to a 47-year-old guy?
Now, a loss would really throw Chad onto the rug. Yeah, if he loses to Bernard tonight. I mean, people look at him like, wow. I mean, a lot of people, he literally ain't hands down. He's supposed to be Bernard on this youth and age. Bernard got a lot of experience, but Chad is a dog. Yeah. He keeps coming. He's smart. He throws a lot of combinations. He can punch a little bit. I mean, I think Bernard got his hands full.
Yeah. And so you're going with Chad tonight?
Yeah, I'm kind of, swaying with. I mean, Bernard, that's my dude. It's my man. You know what I mean? But I just think he bit off a little bit too much this time. You know what I mean? I really do. I think he bit off a little bit too much.
Thanks a lot, Yoel.
Okay.
Hey, Elliot Vasquez from Real Combat Media. It's Chris Guns, also from Real Combat Media. Quick couple of questions. Who's winning tonight's big fight between Bernard and Chad? Who you got, Elliot?
This fight, I'm kind of leaning towards Chad Dawson. I think not just because of the youth, but because of the size, the reach, the height advantage. I think Chad Dawson's a little quicker off his feet. And I think he's just going to possess that jab in Bernard's face all day. I don't think Bernard Hopkins is going to be crafty enough this time around to tie him up, as he usually does for his other fighters, and even use that head. So, I mean, if I gotta go with somebody, I gotta lean towards Chad Dawson tonight. Although I wouldn't be surprised if Hopkins pulls it off.
And what would a win do if Bernard did pull it off?
Like I said, he's just building off his legacy if Bernard pulls it off. I mean, he's gonna surprise a lot of people. Because I thought I was just one of the ones that are picking Dawson, but I mean, the more I read ESPN and other websites, everyone also is taking Dawson. So if Hopkins wins this fight, then he's just adding to his legacy. His records in the boxing world is unbelievable, unprecedented. And he does it again. He's right there with the immortals, man. Like I gotta give it up to Mr. Hopkins.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
Let's say he lost today. What would that do for him?
I mean, it wouldn't tarnish his legacy. I don't think he'll take away what he has done for the sport already. I think that if he does lose, it's just gonna tell everybody that he's one step away from retiring. That's my opinion.
And how about for Chad? Let's talk Chad. What if he wins today?
If he wins, it's just the beginning of his of a good career. He's already had the world title, I think 2 or 3 times at 175. So he from here the sky's the limit. He's still young. He's under 30 years old. There's big fights, south of 175, let's say 168. They're talking about Boutte or Andre Ward. So I mean, there's good fights for Chad Dawson coming up if he does win.
What if he lost?
If he lost, I mean, he's just gonna have to go back to the drawing board. I don't think he's gonna go too much, in the bottom of the barrel of the 175 division, because the division right now, it's not as strong as it was, let's say, 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But he's definitely gonna have to build himself up again. Maybe get 1 or 2 more wins and challenge for another title.
Thank you, Eliud. Sounds good to me.
No problem.
World champion Greg Howland, it's Chris Guns from Real Combat Media. Quick couple of questions. Who's winning tonight's fight with Bernard and Chad?
Well, I think if Chad comes to fight and doesn't do his WWF on Bernard, I think he's in for a tough fight. I think Bernard's got the skills to beat him, but Chad's a younger guy. He needs to just get on Bernard early and just not let him off. And if he does that, I think he'll do real well. But if he sits and waits for Bernard to do something, Bernard's going to have just pick him apart because he's a counter puncher, and that's what he looks to do. So, the last fight didn't go too well. It was kind of a fiasco, but I think if Chad goes in with a little clearer head this time and tries to take his time and, just box Bernard, I think he's a younger guy. He should be all right and just outwork him. But, Bernard's a sharp old cat. If Bernard or if Chad doesn't come with his A game, Bernard could surprise him.
Yeah, what do you think a win would do for Bernard's legacy in the sport?
Oh, I think Bernard's legacy is pretty well cemented in middleweight, and him and Hagler. They had one of the longest runs, and I don't think there's anything Bernard needs to do to boast himself up to get into the Hall of Fame or anything. I think he's a Hall of Fame fighter now, but he's a freak nature. He's 47, 48 years old, and he's still fighting like he's 38. So you don't see that with too many guys. But Bernard's a gym rat, and when you're a gym rat, you can do that. You can get away with that. So I really think this will be Bernard's last fight. It's just going to come down to, one of these times the age is going to catch up with you. It happens to all of us. And it's just your timing, your vision, everything's not what it used to be. And when you're that little bit off, it makes a big difference.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think a loss would do for Bernard?
I think he's done. He'd have to retire. I think this should be his last fight anyway, but, that's just my opinion. But, I think if he has a good, strong showing, he could do something else down the line. But I really think at 48 years old, I think Bernard's pretty much done. He doesn't have anything else to prove, and he's made money. I think, he's done well.
And how about a win for Chad? What would that do for Chad?
Well, I think it adds to his credibility that, it certifies him as a legitimate light heavyweight and a legitimate contender. When you're beating Bernard Hopkins, it doesn't matter if he's, an old man or what. He still fights good, and he's still an old KG veteran, and, it's, something Chad's going to have to do to prove that he's a good fighter. He says he's a great fighter. And, a lot of these guys are good fighters, but, when you step up, that's when you find out how much you can fight.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think a loss would do? Do you think the boxing world would be quick to forgive him for losing to Hopkins?
I think, I think Chad's still young enough he can recover from the loss. But, he's too young and he's got too much youth on Bernard. So, but I'm playing golf, man. I got to go, dude.
All right, thanks, Greg. Here with Jeff Mayweather, it's Chris Guns from Real Combat Media. Quick couple of questions. Who do you think is going to win tonight's big fight between Bernard and Chad?
I lean a little bit toward Dawson, and it's not because he's younger, because that'll be hasty. Because I just think that he has the style. He's much tall. He's a lot taller than other guys that Hopkins has fought, and basically, he has very good boxing skills, and that's if he uses them. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if Bernard gets inside of his head, you know, the same thing may happen or something worse. He may even run into something, get himself knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's one of those situations in which, you know, I mean, I think it's going to be a close fight. One of the picking, you know, one of the touch and go fights. I mean, it may even be boring because of the style and, you know, how classy Bernard is. I don't expect the fight to be exciting.
Uh-huh.
I just expect the fight to be, you know, a very technical fight, and that maybe, you know, it's just that Dawson may outwork him.
Uh-huh. And what do you think a win would do for Bernard's legacy if he won tonight?
Well, I mean, all he's doing is get add to his legacy. I mean, but I mean, he's already in a situation where what he does probably would never be surpassed.
Mm-hmm.
You never can say never, but for him to win, you know, again, you know, would be astronomical.
Mm-hmm. And what would a loss do for Bernard?
I mean, basically, at this point in Bernard's career, a loss does nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's already achieved everything that he wants to achieve, you know, and I don't think that if he loses, he's going to retire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that Hopkins is one of those guys that he's going to continue to fight.
Yeah. Now, what would a win do for Chad tonight?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I mean, all it does is basically it will make him the top guy at light heavyweight, nothing special, you know, because I mean it's one of those situations in which he's a younger guy and actually he's just as talented as Bernard, and he should win. So it's one of those situations in which, you know, it's only bad if he loses because he should win.
And in what way will it be bad if he loses? The loss would do what to Chad? Would the boxing world forgive him for losing to a 47-year-old guy?
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, this ain't no regular 47-year-old guy, so
Yeah.
I don't think that they will, you know, they will ride him too hard. But at the same time, it's one of those situations that when you look back in history, no one wants to say they got beat by a guy that old.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that, you know, Mike Moore has fascinated him forever.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with, you know, with John Pascal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was one of those things that, you know, even though they have a fighting themselves, like, no one wants to, you know, it's one of those things that it's kind of like when someone sets a record, you don't want to be that person.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know, that they set the record on.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, and you will be attached to that forever.
Yeah. Sounds good, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
I was late. Go ahead, man.
We're here with
hold on.
former featherweight champion Derek Smoke Gaynor. It's Chris Guns from Real Combat Media. Quick question: Who do you got winning tonight's fight between Bernard and Chad?
I got Chad. I have Chad winning the fight, man. By late stoppage, man.
Uh-huh. And what do you think a win would do for Bernard's legacy if he were to win tonight?
It would do great for his legacy. It would do great for it'd do great for me, with me being an older fighter, you know, still in the game. I think it does great, man. Bernard is one of the greatest fighters to ever do it, you know. But I just picked Chad to do it tonight.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think a loss would do for Bernard's place in boxing?
I think the loss really wouldn't do anything to his legacy. I think that it may have people second guess the fact that older fighters can still do it at a high level. However, I think that what Bernard has accomplished, you know, thus far in the game, I think will always stand. You know, he's one of the greatest of all time, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And how about for Chad? What do you think a win would do for him?
I think Chad really has not a whole lot to gain, man, because, you know, I think a lot of people picking him to win because he's beating an older fighter, how people is going to look at it. But I guess at the same time, he becomes world champion again, and it would line him up for a unification bout with the winner of Cloud and the other guy from Canada. I can't think of his name right now, but the guy from Canada.
Mm-hmm. Guy who beat him, right? Pascal.
Yes, Pascal. So I think that would line up a very interesting unification bout between the two.
Yeah. Now, do you think the boxing world would be able to forgive Chad if he did lose tonight to 47-year-old Bernard Hopkins?
Oh, of course. I mean, because the thing about Bernard, man, even though he's 40 plus, he has never really taken a real beating, and so he's still really fresh, to be honest with you, and so I think that with him fighting a legend like Bernard, I think people will overlook and say he just fought one of the best fighters of all time. So I don't think it will hurt his credentials at all because of the guy he's facing. And besides, like I said, Bernard has never really taken a full out beating or been knocked out or anything like that in a fight.
Very good. Very good. Thanks, Smoke.
No problem.
Former world champion Mike Enchando. It's Chris from Real Combat Media. Quick couple of questions on the big fight tonight. Who do you got in Bernard versus Chad, the rematch?
Chris, me as a veteran of the sport, I've got to stick with my veterans of the sport, and I got to go with Bernard on this one. I have a lot of faith in Bernard, and I feel that he's going to rely a lot on his skill and his ability to overcome the age, the youth, that Dawson's going to bring to the table. Dawson also, I'm not selling Dawson short of any type of skills because he's also a skilled fighter, but I believe that Hopkins has been in World War I and II and possibly World War III if he can. So I think Hopkins is going to take it. I have to side with him. Have to side with the veteran of the sport. Yeah.
What do you think a win would do for Bernard's legacy tonight?
Jeez, it'll take him over the top. He's already there. I give Bernard, so much credit. Me being, a fighter that's been in the game for so long, I could just imagine Bernard Hopkins being at 46, I believe. 47 years old, being able to get into that ring and fight the best at his weight class is unbelievable. And you know what? I hats off to him, and I give him a phenomenal amount of credit. He's showing everybody that it doesn't matter. Age is just a number in Bernard.
And what do you think a loss would do for Bernard?
If a loss were to, if he were to lose this fight, I think he would have to, depending on how the fight goes. If it's a close fight, and he happens to lose, then knowing Bernard, Bernard as well as I do, he's a fighter. He's going to stick to the game if he knows that, he still has it. Bernard will know, and you can't say, oh, he should or he shouldn't. The guy's 47 years old, and he's in the ring. So who are you and I to say anything? It's solely up to Bernard, and I'll support any decision he makes.
And what do you think a win would do for Chad in his career?
You're gonna beat one of the best fighters in your sport. It's gotta put you up there, in the pound for pounders. Definitely, I believe that it'll get him up there to face higher opposition, and he'd be able to get big fights, bigger fights after this. To be able to have Bernard Hopkins, as someone that retired because of you, or possibly retired because of you, would be something. Bragging rights right there.
And what do you think the boxing world would do if Chad lost to a man 18 years?
It would be an extreme shock, not only to the boxing world, but to the general public, it would bring a lot of excitement, a lot of just a lot of awe. It would the awe factor would definitely come into play, and I mean it would be phenomenal for boxing. I believe.
Yeah, you gonna be watching?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I try and catch every boxing match, because I'm a fan of the sport. I mean, I love boxing, and I definitely will be watching this one because of the gentlemen who are in this. I want to see what the outcome is. I'm very excited about this fight.
Thanks for your opinion, Mike and Shondo.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
First man ever defeat Roy Jones, former champion Montel Griffin. It's Chris Guns from Real Combat Media. Quick couple of questions. Who's winning tonight's fight between Bernard and Chad?
Oh, Chad Dawson, without a question, Chad Dawson. Bernard Hopkins quit the last fight. I respect him because he was smart enough to get another payday. But Chad Dawson is going to win tonight. He would have won last fight. Bernard Hopkins quit. And I guarantee you that Bernard Hopkins will not get knocked out tonight, but he will quit again. He will find some type of way to get out that fight.
And what do you think if he won, though? What would it do for his legacy?
I guarantee he won't win. I bet whatever money you want to bet, he won't win.
And what would a loss do? Do you think the boxing world will forgive him for it?
I mean, first of all, I hope he don't retire. I would love to fight him. But I mean, he don't need me. I'm not hot. I'm not no big name in the game. But
nope.
I mean, if he can still, pardon me.
Very big name in the game. Montel Griffin.
No, I'm not hot right now. No, nobody would pay to see that fight. But I'm just being honest with myself. But I mean, if he loves the game like I do, he don't need to retire. He can keep fighting. I mean, he got another fight with Pascal. He beat him twice. So. Yeah. He can still make money. It's all about money right now. So,
how about a win for Chad? What would it do for Chad if Chad were?
Chad is a freaking nature. You got a guy 6'3", 6'4", with length that he has. He at the top of the game. He can go to cruiserweight and beat some of them guys, but it's really not gonna mean nothing. I mean, unless he. Well, he had to beat Tara twice, so, I mean, really, he in a bad situation because he don't have no big money fight.
Now, if he did lose tonight, do you think the boxing world would be quick to forgive him for losing to a guy 18 years older?
If he lost to Bernard?
Yeah, if he lost to Bernard tonight.
Yeah, he would have to go through a lot of stuff, a lot of negative press. But I don't see it. Ain't no way in hell he lose tonight. I guarantee you, this kid, 26, 27 years old, ain't no way in hell he lose.
Thank you, Montel Griffin. And finally, head boxing editor, Scott Knipe from Real Combat Media. It's Chris Guns. Who do you got winning this fight tonight between Bernard and Chad, Scott?
Well, this is a very interesting fight. Bernard Hopkins is obviously, he's a legend, masterful boxer, 47 years old, a geriatric wonder. He has the ability to win this fight, but I just feel that at the end of the day, Chad Dawson has, the skill set. As long as he remains calm and doesn't allow D-Hop to get into his head, and he follows this game plan that John Scully has, planned out, I can assure you they've got a nice plan to go up against Bernard Hopkins. But as long as he keeps his cool, and as long as he, uses his footwork and, keeps Bernard at the end of that right jab, I think he'll win a unanimous decision.
And what do you think a win would do if Bernard were to win this fight tonight? What would a win do for Bernard?
Wow. Well, then you have to, like I said earlier, he's definitely a legendary fighter, but this would put him, you'd have to consider where he places in the all-time great light heavyweights and so forth. It would be great. It would be a great victory for him, and arguably his greatest victory to date.
Now, what do you think it would put him in the pantheon of all of boxing? Do you think it would raise him quite a bit?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, Chad Dawson is an excellent fighter. I remember Floyd was stating that at one time he felt that Chad was just right below him. to me, I think Chad's in the top 5, or pretty close to it as far as pound-for-pound fighters. I mean, he's a very special, gifted fighter. When he is on his A game, I mean, the guy is, he's virtually untouchable.
Mm-hmm. And what would a loss do for Bernard? If he loses?
Retirement.
Think retirement?
Yes, retirement. I mean, who else, I think he should retire after this, if he loses.
Mm-hmm. And how about a win for Chad? What would a Chad victory bring for Chad?
That would put him, I'll tell you something, definitely at the top of the light heavyweights, but I would like to see Chad move down and, fight Andre Ward. I would like to see that. I think that would be a good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
But, it would do a lot for Chad. He's only 29 years old, and, I mean, it would be an incredible victory for him.
Now, let's say hypothetically he loses. What's that do? You think the boxing world would be forgiving for him losing to a guy 18 years his senior?
Well, there's people that will say that, of course. They'll say, well, he had no business losing to a 47-year-old, fighter. But, Bernard Hopkins he's one of the greatest fighters of all time, he's an excellent, excellent fighter. So, he's only 29 years old, so he will be able to regroup, bounce back, and, losing to Bernard Hopkins is not a negative thing,
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Scott Knight, Real Combat Media. And that's how the world of boxing feels tonight about the big fight. Bernard Hopkins trying to become the oldest man to successfully defend his championship. Going to be an exciting night. Tune in to HBO.